Us Aussies love our beach camping. And when it comes to beach destinations, well, there aren't many as well known as Fraser Island. So come along for the journey and be part of the Camper Trailer lifestyle.
Fraser Island, just off the coast of Hervey Bay in Queensland, is the largest sand island in the world. And for the next few days, we'll be tackling this World Heritage listed landscape with a great bunch of people. Steve, Ali and their two kids, Amber and Riley, have the Windsor Hybrid XC hitched to their 70 series, or Mystery Machine, this week. And it's not too shaggy.
Gooby-dooby-doo! Still sound like Yogi Bear though. Hey there, boo-boo! There's a bucket basket over there.
No strangers to Fraser. Having documented their last day here on their Facebook page, Off the Tracks, the Wilsons will certainly be doing it in style this time in this awesome rear entry camper. Leo from Club 4x4 is no slouch when it comes to style either. His fully kitted out Defender has just about everything you can think of, and even some you probably can't, including what I reckon is a must on every Camper Trailer lifestyle shoot from now on, a cafe-style coffee machine. Leo will be towing this great little Conqueror UEV 390, supplied by the guys at 4x4 Megastores. And seriously, this trailer is as tough as they come. Speaking of tough, my old mate Borgie is with us as well.
For some reason, every time the in-car rolls, it seems to catch me eating. I do like food.
He's been given the keys to the Mars Camper Prado for this trip, and he'll have the feature-packed Mars Saturn Hybrid in his rearview mirror for the next couple of days. I reckon you couldn't get a better bunch of people to travel this incredible island with. We're starting our journey at the infamous Inskip Point. Inskip is known for its uncanny ability to test even the most experienced four-wheel drivers, and social media is full of videos and stories of people coming to grief. But I reckon we'll be fine. Well, kind of. Maybe. Yeah, we'll be fine.
I think everybody's a little bit nervous. I know I am. On Facebook, you tend to only really see people getting bogged here. So I don't know if it's that bad. I don't know if it's really soft or not, but we're probably going to get out and have a look. But it could be interesting.
Are you nervous, Emma? What if we get bogged? Whose fault is it? Why? Can't it be Mum's?
Do you reckon we're going to get bogged?
Yeah.
We certainly don't want to get bogged at Inskip Point.
The barge to hook point on Fraser Island operates out of Inskip Point. But in order to get to the barge, you have to hit the sand first. So, as always, it's important for you to air down the tyres. But it sounds like Borgie is a little bit more nervous than the rest of us.
Well, I've never actually been to Inskip Point before, but I've seen a lot of video footage of people getting bogged, so just quietly, I'm a little bit nervous. Got a couple of little nervous farts going on at the moment. But, you know, basically I'm going to drop the tyre pressures down a little bit, and hopefully that's enough to get us through.
Don't worry, Borgie, I'm sure it will be fine. But just to be on the safe side, we decide we'll take a look first. Yeah, I reckon it looks fine.
Come on through, guys. It's actually pretty compact. It's not as soft as we may have thought, so you should be pretty good.
Happy with that?
The barge from Inskip Point operates every day of the year, and the trip over takes about 15 minutes, which gives you plenty of time to get out of your cars and take in the spectacular views along the way. Once you're on the island, it's only a short drive up the beach towards the inland track. This is why I love Fraser so much. I mean, how often do you get to see these kinds of views out your driver's side window?
There we go. Oh, nicely done.
About to head up the inland track. Should be fun.
Fun? Sure. But it's also not without its challenges.
Oh, this could be a problem. I'm sinking. Go the mighty Prado!
See? Nothing to worry about, Borgie. There are heaps of tracks on Fraser that will get you to most places on the island, but many of them are subject to changing tides and their conditions can also be challenging.
Now, there is two ways to actually head up to the top of Fraser. So we've either got the inland road or we can obviously go through the beach. But being that we've come in on high tide, we pretty much have no option to head up the inland road. I have heard that it can get pretty corrugated. Willow, have you been up this way before?
Yeah, we were up here about a month ago with North Brisbane Four-Wheel Drive Club, and it was very corrugated. And you've got to keep your lights on at a bit of distance because not only the corrugations but the actual dust as well that gets picked up by the other cars.
The Hook Point Island track weaves through the native Banksia forest for about 18 kilometres, but then it's back onto the beach for some fun in the sand.
It's just about to open up now. We can see that beautiful shoreline. Tell you what, this is awesome. First time here, it's actually bliss.
It's important to bear in mind too that the tracks and beaches on Fraser are classed as legal roads and subject to some of the same road rules as regular roads, so sticking to the speed limit is essential. The maximum speed limit on the inland tracks is 30 kilometres an hour and the maximum speed limit on the beach is 80 kilometres an hour. But of course, driving to the conditions is most important. As much as we'd love to spend all day on the beach, it is getting late. So we need to head to our camp for the night, Dilly Village campsite. Dilly Village is an open area grassed campsite with great amenities and offers powered and unpowered campsites as well as cabins and bunkhouses. It doesn't take long for us to set up our homes away from home. Then, as the sun begins to set, it's time to get the campfire started, grab our camp chairs and crack open a coldie. How good is this? It's day 2 of our Fraser Island adventure and today is going to be a cracker. There are some spectacular lakes scattered throughout the island and today we'll be heading to one of my favourites, Lake Boomanjin, which is the world's largest perched lake. The perched lake is formed when organic matter gradually builds up and forms a basin, allowing rainwater to pool. While fresh, the waters of Lake Boomanjin are stained a rusty red colour by the tannins leaching from the leaves of the native tea trees that fall into the creeks feeding the lake. As much as we'd love to stick around though, there's heaps more on Fraser I want to show everyone. So it's back into the four-wheels and back onto the sand.
This is definitely my kind of driving, having the sun coming through, the beautiful bush, but also the sand under the tyres. It's pretty specky.
It's always important though when driving these tracks to be aware of the trailer behind you, especially when the canopy starts to close in.
Looking like it gets pretty tight down here. Just keep a good eye out for these camper trailers behind you, eh?
Yeah, the other thing you got to be cognizant of is when you've got your corners, your trailer, if it's wider than your car wheel tracks, it'll take you a bit closer or the shortest route when you're turning. So you got to not only watch the height, but also when you're turning, you don't want to hit any scrubs or any of these walls.
Towing a camper trailer on sand can be difficult, and that's mainly because of the weight of the trailer. But Leo has a great tip for us.
Quite often use low range, just the engine braking do the rest, and especially in these tight sections, it's always important rather than doing low second, for instance, or high second.
The lakes of Fraser are as diverse as the vegetation surrounding them. Lake Birrabeen couldn't be any more different to the red-coloured waters of Lake Boomanjin. Like Boomanjin, the lake is also a perched lake, but there's no creeks or rivers flowing into it, so there is no tannin staining. Instead, the lake is fed by rainwater, which is filtered by the sand, so any organic matter is trapped, leaving the pristine waters crystal clear, which makes the water even more inviting. Even though we've only just left Lake Boomanjin, we can't resist the temptation to once again get wet. And this time, the big kids can't help but get involved. A short drive from Lake Birrabeen on the banks of Wangulba Creek is the historic heart of Fraser Island, Central Station. This large clearing was once the base of Fraser's forestry operations, which operated from 1920 until the late 1950s. It was home to loggers who cut down the towering Cowa pines and blackbutt trees. The settlement once had around 30 houses and even a school. Much of the old forestry building and machinery are still there as a reminder of our industrial past. But thankfully, the rainforest has once again taken root and the area surrounding the settlement is one of the most beautiful on the entire island.
So we all love staying in the car and being able to go on the four-wheel driving tracks around Fraser, but there is so much more that this island has to offer. Jump out of the car, come for a bit of a walk, and you'll find places as spectacular as this. Look how clear that water is.
We're continuing our adventure on Queensland's Fraser Island. Our last location for the day is Lake Mackenzie, the most well-known of all of Fraser Island's many lakes.
So a little bit of excitement ahead, everybody. We're heading to Lake Mackenzie. Is everyone excited?
Yeah, the family's definitely excited.
I'm excited. I can tell you what, I've heard a lot about it, and I've always wanted to come, and look where we're heading. Can't wait.
Well, here we are at the beautiful Lake Mackenzie. We've got fluffy white sand, crystal clear water. I reckon it's absolute heaven. What do you reckon?
Yeah, look, if this isn't on the bucket list, I think it definitely has to be.
Lake Mackenzie is another of Fraser's perched lakes, and it's surrounded by pure white silica, making this crystal clear water some of the purest fresh water in the world. The lake is popular with tourists the world over because of its natural beauty, and some days you'd find it virtually impossible to find a patch of sand that hasn't got someone else's towel already spread out on it. Today though, we're very lucky. There are only a few people around, but there's plenty of space for us to find our own stretch of white sand and once again plunge into the beautiful waters of Fraser Island.
So we're on Fraser Island, Lake Mackenzie. It's a little cold this time of year, but the boys reckon they've got the best way to enter into the water. Take it away, boys.
This place looks and feels like paradise. But as the sun gets lower in the sky, we need to dry off, brush off the pure white sand and head to tonight's campsite to meet up with someone pretty special. Once again, we hit the sandy tracks of the island's interior. Then, as sunset approaches, we break out of the bush and onto the hard sand of the beach just in time for nature to put on a spectacular show for us. And speaking of spectacular, look who's waiting for us at our next campsite.
That you all can hear on the radio, Alicia?
Yes, mate, we're about to you.
Just keep coming up the beach. You'll see me sitting up on the dunes. I've found you a top little spot for the night. I'll see you soon.
What an awesome way to end the day. Good mates, incredible views, and best of all, getting to bed down in our homes away from home. I wouldn't want to be anywhere but here right now.
If an adventure to Fraser Island isn't on your bucket list, I suggest you put it on there quick smart, because this place is simply stunning. And that's before you get to the popular spots. Join us next week and be a part of the Camper Trailer lifestyle.
Next week is our final episode for Season 1 of Camper Trailer Lifestyle, and we couldn't finish up without bringing along Macca to join the crew. He's showing us some of his favourite local spots a little bit further up on Fraser Island. This one is a barrel of laughs, so make sure you tune in next week. We'll see you then.